What's good, degenerates? Alright, geez, today we do a little bit of an interview with Scrapyard legend, The Horn. Dude, I'm really stoked about this just because I've always wanted to go down this path and just interviewing fighters and just talking fights, bro. So your boy from moving forward is going to be trying to get interviews with amateur fighters, pro fighters, dude, BKFC fighters, anybody that's willing to talk to me within the combat sports world, dude. And it was dope, dude. I got to talk to The Horn, and he was just telling me about his martial arts journey and how, dude, he wants to compete for BKFC, dude. So take a listen and let me know what y'all think, dude. Yo, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How was your Memorial Day, G?
Dude, it's pretty solid. Kind of hung around, didn't do a whole lot. Took the kids out for a bit, kept them entertained. How about yourself?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, man. Where I live, they were doing like an air show, so all like the jets have been like flying over my house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we live right behind an airport, so and it's right next to like the Air National Guard unit. We're over here
Yep.
where I stay in Pennsylvania, so they were just blowing over my house, man. It was crazy.
Oh, geez. Nice.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I just want to say thank you for giving me some of your time today, brother.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for having me on, man. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, so the first thing I gotta ask you, dog, is your nickname, The Horn. Where does that come from, dude?
Dude, I wish I had a cooler story to tell you, but I don't. And you're gonna understand it in a minute. So, growing up, nobody could ever say my last name. My last name's pronounced Skimmerhorn. I've heard it pronounced all sorts of shit all over the place. If it sounds remotely similar, I always go, yeah, hey, that's me, right? So I had a lot of friends in high school and stuff that just called me Horn because they're like, hey, that's the only part of my name that they could make sense of. So fast forward now to I'm 32 at the time or 31. I show up to the scrapyard for my first fight, and I didn't even think about fight names. I thought it was something that like, oh, after you fight, like, then you get to pick one. Or like I thought you had to like earn it, right? I didn't know
Yeah.
you just show up and have to say it. So I'm waiting in the line to like get weighed in, check in, and then you fill out a waiver, and it has you put on there like, what's your fight name? And it dawned on me like, shit, I didn't think of one.
Yeah.
And I'm there with my buddy, and there's a line of people behind me. And I look at him. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to put. And he's like, dude, you gotta think of something. Like, did you have a nickname, like
Yeah.
something funny or blah blah? And I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna put the Horn. And I put it down there, and then that just stuck. And then here I am. Now I'm the Horn. So,
Yeah, fuck it, bro. It is what it is. But that's dope, though, bro. It's kind of like your Spider-Man moment, man. I don't know if you remember in Spider-Man where he's all like, what's your name?
oh yeah.
Dude, for sure. So that's
Yeah.
sick, man. So what was your experience like in the scrapyard, bro? Because it seems like that's like its own little world, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, so I love the scrapyard. I have nothing but good things to say. I'm still planning to fight there again. I'm actually hoping to be part of the anniversary event this year. I want to say it's July 26th or 27th. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to have that'll be my fifth fight there. It's definitely its own world though. It's very unique in the sense of the environment that it fosters is super supportive and inclusive. Everybody is welcome there. It doesn't matter if you're, super skilled and well trained or you barely hit a bag wherever and you want to just come in and test yourself. Everyone there is welcoming. And it's interesting because you don't know who you're fighting until that day. And even then, they match based on who's there and who shows up. So it might be, 10 o'clock and there's been 6 fights already and you're not matched yet. And the guy you've been talking to the whole time next to you, well, that might be the dude you're fighting. So
Yeah, dude. What
it's
the
kind of
heck?
wild.
Yeah, no shit, because, like, I couldn't even imagine just, like, you show up, you're like, all right, man, we're going to do this thing, but then it's just all like, which one of y'all am I going to get through?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to it, right? So, a con to it, in my opinion, too, is like the more you know about your opponent, that's great in the sense that you can come up with a game plan, but at the same time, you can get in your own head a bit, right? And I've done that before.
For
On my
sure.
last fight, I fought this guy, Octobers, who's a great fighter. He ended up, beating the shit out of me. But once I knew it was him and I went back and rewatched his videos, I was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it
yeah, for
dawned on
sure,
me. Like,
yeah.
ooh. So then I showed up being like, oh man, I'm nervous to fight this guy, right? Where the times previously I showed up and I'm just like, hey, I'm here to fight. No idea who it's going to be. And then it would be, oh, hey, you're going to fight this guy in 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't have time to worry. I don't have time to panic. I just got to get in the mode and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure, man, for sure. And, man, I really feel like some amateur MMA fighters should really take a look at the scrapyard and man, and just go there and just get a couple of smoker fights, before actually like maybe taking an amateur career or something, just so they could get that feel. You know what I mean? Because I feel like experience is everything
Yeah.
with stuff like that.
Dude, 100%. And I'm gonna do another plug for the scrapyard and why I think people should fight there. I think that I'm a pretty decent example of like a success story that can come from it, right? I have yet to fight really anywhere else except the yard, but yet, my followers have continued to grow. I've had clips go viral online. I've had sponsorship opportunities now. Like I'm getting money out here. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing all sorts of things that a lot of fighters don't usually get the opportunity to get until they get somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, like I would argue I haven't really done much. I've fought a couple times. I had a blast doing it. And the scrapyard makes it easy to promote yourself because they record all of your fights for you and it's in the ring footage.
Shit.
I don't know any other promoter that gets you
Really?
anything like that. And then on top of that, it's edited for you and posted online. So then you can clip it, you can make your own stuff. Some of the videos that the scrapyard posted my fight, sure, maybe it's a video of me getting my ass whooped, right? But it'll get thousands upon thousands of likes and comments. And some of the views on clips I've gotten like 100,000 plus views. And then it's just like, I'm
Yeah.
some random guy. You know what I mean?
Nah, you ain't some random guy, dog. You're the horn, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're the horn,
Yeah, I
baby. Come
appreciate
on,
that.
bro. No, dude, and I think that's dope. And I feel like, because look at like guys like Wing C, a prime fucking example, bro, where it's like he's gotten a lot of opportunities. Some he might have dropped the bag a little bit due to him being a young man and stuff. But like, I feel like that's just like a prime example, dude, where it's like the scrapyard, bro. They should just look at it, dude, as like another extension of amateur fighting, especially for MMA, dude.
Yeah, for 100%. And especially
Oh no.
hey, but like it's a changing landscape in combat sports now, right? So now I'm not saying it's not about your ability to fight or not, but like social media presence is so much more important than it used to be. You used to be able to get away with never posting on social media. Maybe you didn't even have an Instagram, right? But
Yeah.
cool, you could get out of people and people loved you. Now, if you're not on social media, people are kind of like, who's this guy? I've never heard of him. It's like, oh, he's a regional champ in this area. And you're like, well, who is he? You know what I mean?
No, 100%, dude. 150%, man. And I just think it's sick, bro. Especially because when I was looking into your story, bro, you just showed up there with your friend, right? And you were just
Yeah.
like, hey, just do you want to take a fight? And you were just like, fuck it, run it. Let's go. And look where you are now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's funny because my intro to the scrapyard was I grew up with my dad boxed, so he
Yeah.
taught me a little bit when I was younger, and I hit a bag at my house and whatnot, but I didn't go to a striking gym, and I would really say I don't have a striking background, per se. My buddy talked me into trying out Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I love it, and now I've stuck with it for almost 2 years at this point. But my first scrapyard fight, I took with like 3 months of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu experience
Yeah.
and nothing else. And so I actually signed up for a smoker event at like a local promotion. And then my opponent dropped out like a week before.
No
And my
shit.
buddy Lou, who I went with the yard with, he's like, hey, dude, you should check out the scrapyard. You should go sign up and fight. And I said, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Let's go. And then he came with me. And then, hey, I had that viral slam. And then the rest is history.
No, for sure, man. And I feel like a lot more people, should take that approach, man, where it's just like sometimes, dude, in the moment, you just got to say fuck it, bro, and just go with it, because you never know what could happen, bro. Yeah, you might get your ass kicked, but that's life sometimes. You know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it boils down to is like, and again, this is my opinion, that a lot of people are too obsessed with, making sure their record looks great, right?
100%.
To me, especially amateur, like your days should be to learn. And I think the best way to learn is to just get out there. There's been multiple times I've stepped into the ring at the yard where I was like, man, I should have trained more often. Like I had hiccups in my training protocol. My fight week didn't go the greatest, but like
Yeah.
I'm still show up and fight and I'll give it my best. Have I lost before? Absolutely. But like at the end of the day, I don't go home and go, oh man, I lost. I go, hey man, I learned something today. Like what I've been training didn't work, or maybe it did work. Maybe I need to try something else. I think more people should just be willing to go out, put themselves under the pressure and just say, hey, if I lose, man. Like who cares?
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially like at that level, dude, where there's really no fucking, you're not gonna lose anything from it, essentially, right? Because you're a fucking amateur, bro. Like, that's what that's for, before you get,
Yeah.
before you go pro. Because especially nowadays, looking at the landscape with MMA, dude, it's like, I feel like a lot of these guys are so eager to go pro. You know what I mean? And it's just like you said, dude, if you could build a social media presence, dude, as an amateur, I'm pretty sure, bro, a couple sponsors are going to see that and be like, dude, look at this kid and fucking hook him up. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, for sure. And I mean, my comment to that too is like, I understand everybody's fascination with wanting to be a pro. I mean, to be quite fair, like who doesn't want to be? If you're into fighting, like you want to get paid for it, right?
Yeah.
I understand the appeal to saying, hey, I'm getting beat up for free out here. Why not make some money off it? And I mean, I think that sounds so simple on paper until you realize the quality of opponent you're facing at the amateur level is likely highly different than what you're going to face at the pros, right? I mean, I don't speak very highly of myself, right? But like, some people have called me a good fighter, and that means a lot and makes me feel good to hear that. But like, I wouldn't walk around and be like, I think I'm ready to go be a pro. I'd get my ass whooped. Cool. I maybe will go make a couple grand off it. Maybe there'll be some viral videos and I get some more followers from it. But like, I don't feel it's best for my growth to just go, you know what, I'm going to go apply for a pro license and I'm going to just get out there and do it. Like, I'm not ready for that,
Yeah, 100%. Because once you do that, bro, there's no taking it back, dog. Unless you're like doing some shenanigans out there in one of them Germany promotions. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's no coming back from that. You feel me? So speaking on that, man, since you're training, I seen that you are going on a BKFC cruise, dude. What's that all about? They're doing a bare knuckle cruise.
Yes, bro. I thought it was fake when it was first announced. Because I'm like, this is the craziest idea ever. So, I mean, it is literally, actual BKFC fights just on a cruise ship. They rented out the Norwegian Jewel, I want to say is the actual name of the ship. It's put on by like a third party, like event promotion.
Yeah.
And then what they did was essentially take all of the onboard activities and just get rid of them, and they made them BKFC fights. And so I'm going to be on the cruise ship with a bunch of fight fans.
Yeah.
The BKFC fighters, like the ring girls, the BKFC staff, like it's going to be nuts. And then you put all that together with the fact that there's going to be a lot of alcohol involved and we're all stuck on the same boat. Like shit's going to go wild, dude.
No shit, bro. That sounds crazy. Especially, dude, there's going to be the room's going to be filled with testosterone, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah.
And then, you get people drinking. You get a couple, guys that are king of the pads and they're all like, yo, I think I could take this, dude. You know what I'm saying, bro?
100%, man. And I fully hope, one, that I just, enjoy it and have fun, right?
Sure.
My wife and I are going. I don't know how I talked her into that, by the way. But I want to get, those great seats to watch the fights. And then I want to meet the fighters. Like, I'm willing to wait in those lines for the meet and greets. Like, I want to get photos. I want to document everything. Like, I want to just have a fun experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Because, like, that's definitely, I feel like, a thing that I'm seeing more at, like, especially with, like, wrestling. I know, like, my buddies have gone on a couple, like, cruises where they do, like, wrestling events, bro, where they'll wrestle from wherever that they're going. And that's kind of brutal, bro, because you might be able to go over international waters and we might get a crazy one night tournament, where I don't know, man. A throwback to like the old school Pride days, or where they were doing like old school K1, where they were doing more than one fight in one night kind of deal. I don't know if they
that's some wild shit,
dude. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, especially getting over international waters, bro. It might get a little hairy, a little tricky. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, man, I wanted to ask you, what is freaking the We Defy Foundation, bro?
Yeah. So the We Defy Foundation is a nonprofit, and their background is basically to get disabled veterans into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So what that looks like is they have what's called like a scholarship program.
Yeah.
And so athletes that meet their eligibility, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know their eligibility off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I just know it's every state defines disabled veteran differently. I think We Defy has like 80% or higher for VA rating. But basically you apply and you say kind of a bit about yourself and like why you want to be part of the program. And if you're accepted, they pay for your whole first year of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training to your gym. And then they send you 2 gis in the mail to use. And so I was a scholarship recipient. So, I mean, they directly supported me. And now I go out of my way to try to directly support them. I rock We Defy rash guards. I wear sweatshirts, like hats, anything that has We Defy on it, I support it. So.
Dude, that's absolutely sick because, like, you just said you just started your grappling journey maybe like 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are the competitions been going? Because I've seen that you've been kind of killing it, right, during the competitions.
Yeah, so I've had some ups and downs, man. So I think about 2 weeks ago was my 6th competition. pretty much everything was local except last year in August, I competed at the IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu Con novice, or the white belt tournament there. Again, that was quite a humbling experience, right? Nothing like getting knocked out in the first round of a tournament. And you're like, oh yeah, this isn't double elimination or anything. I'm just toast. Wow. I'm mostly a no-gi guy now, though I'm trying to start training gi again. But I've had some success and some failures in competition. It's been really important for me, right? Because I feel in training, I train very hard. I roll hard in the gym, and I feel like I have a game plan. Yeah. But I found myself essentially, once I get under the pressure in a competition, I was falling apart. Like my first couple of comps, I was able to do next to nothing. Really? It was just like, it's like everything I had planned on just is not working. Like I'm getting too nervous. I'm getting too in my head. I'm getting gassed out way too quick. And then I think it was like comp 4, it was like a light switch kind of turned. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I actually know a little bit of jiu-jitsu now. Like, oh, the things I was training on in the gym, I have the opportunity to do right here. And I was a lot more calm. And then basically since then, I feel like I've had a dramatic improvement of my performance. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely sick, man. So what would you say, what was the scariest thing when you first got into getting into jiu-jitsu, man? Because that's been like, I've been kind of toying with the idea of just like how you just said, man, just fuck it, bro. Just go sign up at the gym, and then what's the worst that could happen, bro? You get choked out, you know what I'm saying? So what would you say was the most scariest thing when you first entered the gym?
I think the scariest thing for jiu-jitsu is honestly just acknowledging that like you don't know anything. I think most people don't actually realize how helpless they are in wrestling or jiu-jitsu or any combat sport until they actually go in and try it. I mean, I train at Logic Jiu-Jitsu in Spanaway, and I'm part of the 6 a.m. morning class, which is a notoriously like rough and tough kind of group, which I love being a part of. But like when I started, I didn't know how this worked. I was like, oh, do we have like special classes for new people? And like, no, you go in and you do the same thing everybody else does. And so we warm up, we drill, and then, we spar for like 30 to 60 minutes. And I mean, I'm getting the absolute shit beat out of me every single round. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, month 6 where I was like, okay, I at least have a defense now. I can survive a bit. But like, it was just day in, day out of just getting the shit whipped out of me when I was like, man, I'm in good shape. Like, I would say I'm a decent dude, right? But I would leave there in the mornings and be like, I don't know anything, man. I'm helpless.
Yeah, dude, I can only imagine, bro, because when I was younger, man, I attempted to, like everybody else that is in this space, I'm pretty sure at one point or another, like, I want to try to be an MMA fighter, right? And when I was younger, man, I'd gone to the MMA gym, and this kid that was there, dude, absolutely fucking housed me, bro. Like 100% humbled me, and I was like, you know what, dude, maybe it's because I don't know any wrestling. And then I joined the wrestling team, and then lo and behold, who was there? And he had been wrestling his like entire life, bro. And I'm like, dog. Yeah. And it turns out, bro, he's like the number 15 like featherweight like now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh my goodness, I can only imagine, bro, because dude, he fucking absolutely, I couldn't do anything, bro. I could not do anything.
And I really actually like the humbling aspect of combat sports as a whole, because it doesn't matter how good, you or I or anybody else thinks we are at our own abilities. It's when you get those tested. And I don't really think in a lot of other sports, you really get that level of testing, because so many sports are team-based, where jiu-jitsu or, boxing, MMA, it's like it is you versus one other person.
100%.
Every strength and weakness you have will be exposed. Like maybe all the things you're bad at is what his specialty is. Like you're in for a world of hurt if that's the case, but like you will never get to truly experience that like humbling feeling of I'm not all that until you actually step out there,
Dude, 100%, Brad. 100%. That's why I give guys like you that are just going on this endeavor so much credit, man. Just because it's such an unforgiving thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you could go hop in a competition, bro, and think that you're gonna go good. And like you said, man, you freaking get completely housed within the first fucking round, man. But then the thing I love about martial arts, it's always like, what are you gonna do about it, man? You always take a little bit of information and then move forward with it. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things too, like, I don't know, I can only speak for myself, but like I feel like I'm somebody that never really gives myself credit, and I don't like to ever just like pull that card to say, well, I had this going on, blah blah blah, right? But like it's hard because now I'm about to turn 34. right? You know, I did 6 years in the infantry. My body was destroyed. Like I was medically retired back in 2016. So I have kind of that going against me in terms of bodily health, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, I work a full-time job. I have two small kids. I try to be an active parent, a good husband. Like my sleep isn't the greatest, my nutrition isn't the greatest, and I am not trying to use that as an excuse, but it's hard to compare yourself to like a 17 or 18-year-old kid that just doesn't have the same life responsibilities. And I'm like, man, I know we have the same 24 hours in a day, but just like my day looks very different. You know what I mean?
Dude, 100%, bro. And I couldn't even imagine 6 years doing infantry, dog. I was in the military for 6 years also. I did the logistics aspect of it. But
Yeah.
I did a lot of the grunt work, like loading connexes up. Like, dude, I remember this one time before we got deployed, we went to go we went to go do this thing called rail yard, and they made us
Yep.
chain up all the vehicles. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, I'm a 92 Yankee. That guy's a 12 Bravo. Like that guy's a cook. We're not supposed to be doing it, but you know, you get you, you know what I'm saying. And I'm like, it took
Yeah.
like 350 chains for us to get this Bradley chained down to the freaking to the train cart. But like,
Oh yeah.
dude, man, I'm hurting to it, and I couldn't even imagine you, brother.
No.
You feel me?
Hey, and
My-
dude, you know, it's funny you mentioned the railhead detail just because I have my own memories of railhead, but I will say it was different for me because I've only been in light units my whole career.
Yeah.
So like, luckily I had no vehicles to ever deal with. My second duty station was Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, and I went to Second Brigade right as they were transitioning out of strikers. So I showed up, and then we kind of like looked at the strikers, and I rode in them like once. I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. And they're like, well, don't worry, we're getting rid of them. I'm like, oh, sweet. What are we going to? Light. Hell yeah, let's go. So at least when we did Railhead, it was mostly just connexes and like a Humvee, you know?
Oh my god, brother. I fucking wish we were forward support, brother. Forward,
Yeah.
forward support, dog. Every single vehicle that you can imagine, dude. And it's just like it was such a crazy time, and probably some of the best times of my life, dude. You know what
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean? Because you're in the shit with your boys, but you're making the best of it, man. And I'll never forget where I was like, man, dude, my first sergeant's out here getting after it with us, and then my boy Sergeant Moran's like, you're motivated by the first sergeant. Look at the chaplain over there trying to tie down this Bradley. I'm like, you know what, dude, you're right. You feel me? Ah, dude, good shit, man. So what I have to ask you? So what is like your goal with all this, dude, and your journey? Because man, it must be such a trip, dude. Because like you said, dude, you showed up at the Scrapyard, and then here you are, dude. Because you got sponsored by Fight Steady. I seen that you posted that today, dude, which is sick, man. Congratulations. That sounds dope.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, you know, it's funny because you know I've always been somebody that I'm going to sound bad here for a second, but I've always been somebody that preached like make sure your goals are like achievable and set up plans to accomplish X, Y, Z. And then when I feel like it came to combat sports, I just set some wild goals that I'm like, I probably can't even achieve these, but I can at least try. But like honestly, it's kind of changed over the last 2-ish years now that I've been doing this.
Yeah.
I would really like, and I haven't really said this anywhere yet. It's in an article that's not posted yet, but I really want to fight in the BKFC.
Let's go, dude.
Dude, within the next 1 to 2 years, I want to attend a tryout. I was also hoping maybe on the cruise ship they do like a tryout because I'm like, oh, I'll come out and just
yeah, for sure.
go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my argument, my stance on that is twofold. One, I'm not getting any younger, so
Yeah,
like if
for
I
sure.
am gonna want to try, dip my toes in being a pro, I have to do it at least in the next couple of years. Like I'm about to be 34, my body's already broke. I got small kids. Like I have to make up my mind on that soon. Otherwise, that ship's gonna sail.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
with BKFC, I have been a fan of BKFC since it came out. And as much as I like MMA and I just like, grappling and everything else, there's something so primal about just two dudes standing in a ring with no gloves on and they just beat the fucking shit out of each other. And I'm like, I don't even care if I go in there and I get the shit beat out of me. Like, I want to feel that energy. I want that sensation, which is why BKFC is definitely where I have my sights on.
Dude, that's absolutely fucking dope, man. And that's another organization where it's like, dude, it gives these guys another avenue to go down, man. Especially like some of these MMA fighters that, dude, they might not have like the best record. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, they might still be able to throw on some badass performances in fucking BKFC because, dude,
Yeah.
that fucking fight with Chad Mendez and Eddie Alvarez was fucking legit,
Yeah.
bro. Those guys went to fucking absolute war, dude.
Yes, dude. Dude, and so like some of the caliber of the BKFC fights, like since the beginning, but especially in the past year, have just been like, wow, this they've really stepped up in terms of the cards that they put
Yeah,
on
for
and
sure.
the entertainment value of it. Right, every time I've watched a BKFC event, I've never left and went, no, that was dumb. I wish I didn't see that. Where sometimes I've watched UFC events and I'm like, wow, that main event was garbage. Like, man, the undercard wasn't the greatest, and like, man, I now at least I don't have to pay $70, to watch one event. But like,
Oh my
man, it's
god, dude, 100%, dude. And so that now that we're talking about like BKFC, would you ever do something like dirty boxing? Have you ever heard of dirty boxing?
I have. So I actually I follow them on Instagram, and I kind of did like their little form to get put in for it. Like I would definitely try that for sure. I mean, but dirty boxing looks nuts too, man.
For sure, because you're wearing, you got the MMA gloves, and then you could throw
Mhm.
elbows, and then you could ground and pound a little bit, which is
Yeah.
absolutely fucking dope, man. But all right,
Dude, what
brother,
gets
man.
me, what gets me is cool. If we can just talk about 4 ounce gloves for a
Yeah,
second.
let's do it for sure.
I feel every fighter, whether they're a boxer or they fight in some discipline, needs to get hit with a 4 ounce glove at least once to feel the difference. Because I had only ever been hit with boxing gloves, and I'm like, okay, this hurts. Everyone can
Yeah.
knows you get hit in the face, it hurts regardless. But wow, it is a world of difference to get hit in the face with a 4 ounce glove than a 12, 14, or 16 ounce boxing glove. Holy shit, that was like a world changing revelation for me. So.
Dude, I can only fucking imagine because with the boxing gloves, bro, you could cover up, you could block, you got some
Mm-hmm.
more rooms. With the MMA gloves, bro, hey dog, unless you got like a good tight shell, Philly roll or something, man, you're probably gonna get
Yeah,
hit, bro.
for sure, dude.
Yeah, have you ever so on the MMA gloves, how do you feel about them? Because I'm pretty sure you do you watch a lot of MMA? Do you like follow like the
Yeah.
sport? So what do you feel
Hmm.
about like the whole thing with the eye pokes and stuff like that? Because you ever have to deal with anything like that with the MMA gloves?
So no, it's funny. The only eye poke I've actually ever received was at jujitsu,
Oh yeah,
and
right.
it was normal. We were both going through for a collar tie, and we were just being going fast and quick, and I just got a poke right to the eye. That put me on my ass so fast. Luckily, though, I have not had any issue with MMA gloves of getting eye poked. I have noticed, and maybe it's just me, but a couple times where like maybe I was in somewhat of a compromising position and whatnot, and I go to like push off, and one of my fingers like will get kind of bent because I'm not cognizantly aware, like, oh, my full hand isn't protected in a glove. So like you can essentially like small joint manipulate yourself.
Really?
And I learned that.
Oh,
That was
you know
not
what?
fun.
You know what? That kind of makes sense because I've seen a couple times where some fighters where they've broken like a finger or like their thumb or some shit.
Hmm.
That's probably what that is then, man.
Yeah.
Man, absolutely fucking nuts. So since you do keep up, so who are some of your favorite fighters? I'm gonna ask you some generic questions, bro. So who were some of your
Yeah.
favorite fighters, man?
Okay. I like new age UFC and new age fighting. When I like, dude, like Mike Perry, absolute monster. But like, I still go back to some of the OGs, like Chuck the Iceman Liddell,
Dude,
Conor
hell yeah.
McGregor, dude, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is still has to be my favorite fighter of all time, and I gotta tell you why. And I'm sure you're gonna say like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man. The dude comes in. He doesn't bob, he doesn't duck, he doesn't weave. He eats that shit and he just keeps marching forward. That has to be the most intimidating thing to come up against when you're unloading on a dude and he's just like, meh, whatever, and just keeps hard charging you. The dude is a G. Like Nate Diaz, hands down, my favorite fighter for sure.
Dude, 100%, bro. And my favorite thing about him was watching his career. It's just like he's a prime example, dude, where it's just like, yo, dude, fuck the record, bro. Fuck the
Yeah.
record. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, cause dude, he had some really big fights and he dropped the bag, but he still ended up elevating his status, bro, because he knew that hey, I could back it up when it fucking counted, bro. You feel me?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Dude, Nate Diaz is a G. I love his trash talk that he does before, his press conferences. And I cannot forget about his press conference with Conor McGregor with the gazelle comment. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, what the fuck even is that? Like, what's a gazelle? Holy shit.
They're playing touch bucket in the park, man. Saying I don't got no training partners. I don't think so, dude. 100%, dude. Dude, oh my god, man. And you know what sucked, man? It broke my heart though, seeing him get the fuck beat out of him by Mike Perry, dude. And you could see it like like maybe after like the first round, Mike, dude, I felt like he could have got him out of there, but I felt like he was kind of like relishing in the moment and being like, dude, when the fuck am I ever gonna be on Netflix again? Let's make this last a little bit, you know?
Dude, for sure. So what I liked about that fight though was, I mean, I think it highlighted both of them very well in two different ways, right? Like I think everybody knows Mike Perry's a beast. Like I don't want to get fucking hit by Mike Perry, right?
For
So
sure,
like
dude.
Mike Perry went in there and he proved himself yet again that he still has it, right? And Nate Diaz, though he lost, right? That showed how much spirit and how tough that dude is still to this day. That I have yet to see somebody bleed like that in a fight and just still be nonchalant. Like that dude's gash in his head was like this big,
Dude.
and he's just pulsing blood, and he is unfazed. Like that man is a monster. Right?
Yeah, dude, 100%. I don't know, man. It's something with, I don't know if it's something with him and his brother where they're just like, they're born with scar tissue. You know what I mean?
They're built
they're just
different,
born
bro.
with, yeah, dude, they're just born with it, you know, right from the jump. Because, dude, like, it literally, like, Mike Perry was like, and, like, you know, blew air at him and freaking he was cut open, bro. But yeah, man, that
Yeah,
dude's
dude.
absolutely fucking built differently, dude. Dude,
Yeah.
absolutely dope. But all right, brother, I don't want to take any more of your time. I really appreciate you sitting down and talking to me today. So why don't you just tell people, you know, where they could find you and what you got coming up, man?
Yeah, man. Well, first off, thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. I really enjoy this. I'm down to sit down and chat, fighting, anything related, any day, man. You guys can find me online. My Instagram is my only social media account, at least currently, and it's Brian BRYAN _the _horn, and that's it, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate your time, dude. Let's catch up in a couple months and dude and see where you're at, man. I'd really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Thanks again for having me, dude. It
All
was a
right.
great time.
Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. All right, man. Peace.
And like always, I mean always, stay elevated, dog.